Good day. In this day, I'm going to share with you a dead simple approach to answer why this company or why do you want to work here. And first, let me explain to you why most people complicate their lives answering this interview question. First scenario would be that you are over complimenting the company. Hey, you're an amazing company with an amazing trajectory. You've done this, and that, and I know so many people there, and you're super excited about the role. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But it's still it's a trajectory you want to give, and overdoing it will likely put you in the same spot as with every single other candidate. The second approach people use to answer this why do you want to work here would be to answer the question, what's in for you as a candidate if you get the job? So how does your skills and aptitudes connect with the job description that you're applying for? Okay, which is a smarter way to do it. You could also do a combination of, hey, you're an amazing company and what's in for you as a candidate. And the third approach, probably on the more extreme side, and something I've been sharing a number of times on this channel, would be that to answer something on the lines of, hey, you know what, I'm not sure I want to join you as of yet. I'm here to learn more about the opportunity and to see if this is mutually beneficial. All right, but another way that nobody's talking about to answer this interview question, and is the core reason why I'm suggesting this would be because yes, it is a very commonly asked question, but it's not as important as most candidates think, because nobody's going to pay you a ton of money for having a great why do you want to work here. Okay, so my recommended approach for you to consider to answer the interview question, why do you want to work here, would be to use your elevator pitch. Okay, your tell me about yourself, or your elevator speech, as I've recently heard someone call that. So your tell me about yourself will contain some elements that you would want to use in why this company. If you look closely to your elevator pitch, it will contain what's in for you if you get the job, because you're presenting yourself, you're selling yourself on your strength there, right? So it's not such a big deal of simplifying a bit maybe your elevator pitch and adapting it for why this company. Some people might say, okay, then, but if I do my elevator pitch, they will say I'm not answering their question. Well, to which I tell you that you could maybe insert, one line of, hey, you're an amazing company. And then you would go with the elevator pitch with the simplified version, into which you would pitch how your skills and aptitudes would make a great fit for the role that you're applying for. Because the best way to sell yourself in a job interview isn't to talk about how skilled you are, but rather to prove it using specific achievements that you did in the past, right? The definition of behavioral interviews that they look at your past experiences as a predictor of success in your future role. Whereas if you, in your why this company, if you pitch your past achievements, that will be a great way to sell yourself as someone who's highly qualified for the role, if this is indeed the case, of course, right? Now, some mistakes you'd want to avoid, some mistakes I've heard over the years would be, at once I had someone who answered this, why do you want to work here? Well, why do you want to work for this company? So yes, he answered with a question. I believe that's dumb and, never use that approach. Also, I have some other people say that I want to work for this company because it's cool. It's a cool company. And that's it. Okay, so it's not an approach I would recommend, because the expectation in these job interviews that you take them as serious as possible. Whereas if you don't have enough meat in your answer, then chances are you're going to be regarded as superficial. And it's not as much about what you think about about short answers, but about how the majority of candidates look at interviews that is superficially. So that's why when someone gives an interesting answer, that's when you differentiate yourself from the pack, and it must be on the longer side. I've heard of a time, of course, on the condition that you make sense. But long story short, why this company could easily be your elevator pitch, okay, with some minimal modifications, and the core reason, it's because it's okay. Yes, you make a strong first impression, but outside the screening round, your strong first impression, it will not determine the outcome of your job interview. Employers have gotten really smart these days, and ChatGPT and any AI can provide you with some amazing way to word your elevator pitch and stuff like that. So the difference in job interviews is not being made in the introductory statements, right? So unless you're in a niche scenario, for example, you're overqualified, and they might suspect you're going to be disengaged in the role, then yes, you would want to craft something more interestingly for your introductory statements. Why do you want to work here, and your elevator pitch, right? But other than that, unless you're really good at interviewing, which I know very few people are, you should try to expedite these introductory statements as much as possible, right? And a great way to achieve this would be considering why do you want to work here as almost the same thing with your elevator pitch. So please try it out, and I hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.